What's up, YouTube? Shadow DPS here. Just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown on my thoughts on this Yamaha Super Tenere. I've had this bike for almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in August. So I just wanted to give you a rundown on basically how I feel about this bike. So I bought this bike in August of 2014. It wasn't a quick decision. I think I agonized over months on whether or not to buy this bike compared to some of the other bikes out there. I was looking at the R1200 GS and GSA. I was looking at the KTM 1190. I was looking at a couple of other bikes as well. But I finally settled on this Yamaha Super Tenere for a couple reasons. Number one, the price. The price point was a little bit less than the BMW options and also the KTM option. The reliability of Yamaha seems to be on par with what I need, and the fact that it had a shaft drive, I chose that over. I chose the fact that it has a shaft drive over the KTM 1190. I didn't want to do any chain maintenance on long trips, and basically I think again the big decision point was the price. The price was a bit lower than the other options. In terms of reliability, this bike has been simply awesome bike. Haven't had any issues with it whatsoever. I've kept up with the maintenance for the most part, but yeah, this bike has been rock solid. I've taken this thing on pretty long trips. I've done multiple 500-600 day rides on this bike in a row. I've ridden in extreme heat, rain, whatever, and it's performed flawlessly. Never left me on the side of the road, never had any issues, and it's just been rock solid. And in terms of comfort, this bike is pretty comfortable compared to like my cruise. The upright seating position is exactly what I need. I'm an older guy, I'm over 50, so got to keep that back, got to keep that posture straight as possible. But yeah, I have absolutely no issues with regards to the comfort. Upright seating position, the handlebars at a decent position for me. I could ride this thing for hours without any discomfort, and yeah, it's been great. In terms of performance, like I said before, I've taken this thing on multiple trips. I've ridden from San Antonio to New Orleans in Mississippi. I rode from San Antonio to Vegas. I went through Mexico and Arizona and Utah. Had a great time. Performed flawlessly. Had some heavy rain downpours on that trip, and no issues at all. Went up to Colorado maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, and again the bike performed flawlessly. That was perhaps my most enjoyable trip thus far. I've got a couple of trips planned this year. We'll see what happens. But the Colorado trip was simply awesome. And I've even done a Saddlesore 1000 on this bike with a couple of buddies, and did close to 1,100 miles in about 18 and a half hours, and the bike performed. Of course, roads, I do most of my riding on the roads, and no issues, no complaints at all. Now, there are bikes that have more power, like the KTM 1290 and 1250 GS and GSA, but really, how much power do you need in an adventure bike? So there's no issues with regards to the performance of this bike. Now, in terms of upgrades that I've done with this bike over the last 5 years, I haven't done that many compared to some other folks out there. I bought an extension for this windscreen a few months ago. I have yet to install it. Also got some winglets. Before my next big trip, I'll install them. I bought these auxiliary lights from PIAA, and they've done they're pretty good. It didn't cost too much to install these. I pretty much installed them myself. I just bought the lights and the brackets and installed them on my crash bar, which is also an upgrade. Which is also something that I added to this bike. They're Givy crash bars. I think I paid maybe $199 for them from Revzilla. They do okay. They do fine. I haven't had to test them, so I really can't comment on their effectiveness, but you know, they've been pretty good. Of course, I've got the boxes. I also have a top box, and I'll talk about those in a minute. And I installed these LED lights from Add-ons to provide some added visibility to the bike, especially at night. And yeah, they work okay. Now, things that I don't like about this bike, the only thing I don't like about the bike is the OEM bags that I got from Yamaha. The bags themselves are just a tad too small. If they're a little larger, I think that would definitely help me out on some of these trips. And also the locking mechanism is finicky. When I was on my trip to Vegas, my key broke off into this one right here. Luckily I had a spare key, so the trip wasn't ruined. But yeah, the locking mechanism on these boxes takes some getting used to. So if you do buy this bike, I recommend looking at alternatives to the OEM boxes. Jesse has some pretty good boxes. There are other companies out there that make aftermarket boxes for the Super Tenere. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Some things that I hope they upgrade in the next generation of Super Tenere. This is a Generation 2 bike, and quite a few improvements over the Generation 1. It comes with cruise control, heated grips on an ES model, anyway, and also the electronic suspension adjustment. Hopefully, in the next generation bike, which a lot of people think will happen in 2020, they'll do some additional upgrades. One thing that I would like to see is an adjustable windscreen where I could make adjustments on the fly. That would be great. Wouldn't mind a few more electronics on this bike, like a tire pressure monitor. That would be a very good thing. In terms of power, I hear a lot of people say, man, I wish the Super Tenere had more power. I really don't think it needs it. I think this bike is okay with the power that it has. I think that's pretty much it as far as my overall conclusion. Overall, this is by far the best bike I've ever had. Very reliable, extremely versatile. It's just been a rock solid performer. And it wasn't that expensive. I got a great deal on it. Bought it out in West Virginia back in, again, August of 2014. Got a great deal, and have absolutely no regrets about buying this bike. It's been an absolute joy. So yeah, if you guys are considering buying a Super Tenere, go for it. Go for it. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to reply to any questions that you may have. All right, Shadow DPS out. Peace.